Welcome to Gray Overload. I'm Anthony, and I already had a video recorded on this, but as news broke, I'm going to update it. And here it is that Microsoft, the whole Microsoft Activision deal is really up in the air now. It seems like it's officially blocked by UK's CMA. And let's jump over here. WCCF Tech has this article that I was looking at. And here it is. The Activision Blizzard pre-market stock was down, and the UK Markets Authority, regulated body, has rendered a negative verdict on the proposed $68.7 billion deal to buy the company. Now, was unexpected. The reports were coming out that they were going to approve it, and so I did a video on that. I am surprised um, that they said that they basically came down and they ruled on the dangers of the cloud market, right? And that Microsoft would, that their remedies aren't enough, but that they would have a monopoly on that. So they would be able to have game exclusive to its cloud service, which were a strong possibility to begin with. Now, you've seen them sign all these deals, and there's more into this. I'll leave this article if you want to read the press release of the whole CMA, but just the gist of it, right? It seems like it was not enough. I'm actually shocked that they signed more with Sony on this, because the 10-year long contracts with Nintendo's and various other cloud companies, GeForce Now, Boost Droid, EE, all those. Guess what? That's not enough. I don't get how that is not enough. I guess it wasn't also Sony, and Sony didn't sign on. I mean, that Sony's kind of holding them hostage for this. Why are they into there? Now, there's also rumors that Microsoft would close the deal if the pending FTC loss, even if that FTC lawsuit was there, if the deal was approved by the UK and the EU. So this may put this going in a different direction here. Let's take a look at, you have Brad Sams on this, and Brad Sams, he's the vice chair and president of Microsoft. And he said, we remain fully committed to this acquisition and will appeal. The CMA decision rejects the pragmatic path to address the competition concerns and discourages technology innovation investment in the United Kingdom. We've already signed contracts to make Activision Blizzard popular games available on 150 million more devices, and we remain committed to reinforce these agreements throughout regulatory remedies. We especially disappointed after the lengthy deliberations. This decision appears to reflect the flawed understanding of the market and the way the relevant cloud technology actually works. Then you also had Lulu Cheng. I hope I pronounced that right. She's Executive Vice President of Corporate Affairs and COO of Activision. And she said, reports today a major setback for the UK ambitions to be a tech hub. We will work with Microsoft to reverse this appeal. This report also disservices to UK citizens who face increasing dire economic prospects and will need to reassess our growth strategy in the UK. Global innovators, large and small, will take note. Despite the rhetoric, UK is closed for business. I have to say, as much as I don't want, more big conglomerates and everything else, that's what the UK kind of just did. Uh, the, let's say Microsoft does close this without having the approval of the FTC and the UK. I think the FTC would probably eventually just come around, because there's enough gamers in here that would be very upset at the FTC, and going into election year and everything else, there would probably be some pushback there. But this, Microsoft planning to close the deal, right? What happens if I thought that they wouldn't do this, but it has came up in other things that I have researched about this deal. What happens if Microsoft closes this, says, yeah, this deal's going through, and you have FTC or CMA UK, the UK or the EU that says no, we don't accept this deal. Are these markets too big for Microsoft to say no? We will then resplit this off, or is it Microsoft saying no, you aren't going to be able to have those games, and then it becomes a struggle between the customers and the government rather than the government and the company. Um, that could happen. I'm not going to say it won't, but I mean, you get the EU. If Microsoft's really committed to putting all these or a lot of these games on cloud for mobile, this is bringing a whole new gaming class of devices that we haven't seen before. And it's on NVIDIA GeForce now, which I think is a good step forward. I have no faith in Microsoft creating and keeping out a pace to create good games. We've seen their history on this, so I have a whole different concern about why this deal shouldn't go through. I just, there's already a struggle to have enough good games out, or is this going to create less? That's one of my big concerns. I have a good friend that likes to play a lot of games. We're going through games, looking at old games for him to, hey, I haven't played this yet. Let's play this because there isn't anything new he's interested in. If you guys know of some good first person shooters, open world games that are good, put them in the comments below. Message me. He'll be watching the video, so he will also look too. And I'll mention to him as comments come in. But I mean, I'm really shocked that they kind of went with Sony's argument on this. But I do think that the government does not understand how these technologies work. That is a true fact. I don't see if they really understand how these markets are different, and how these different platforms do different things. I think 10 years is a good thing, and if this deal's going through, I also think, are the governments okay with kind of the misconduct, sexual misconduct that has happened at Activision Blizzard? Are they okay with the steps Activision has already taken, or does that need to be cleaned up still? And is that an argument too that the government wants a higher, cleanup of this? They didn't state that really in their statement here, but that's one thing that keeps crossing my mind. Remember, there was all these lawsuits and everything else from Activision Blizzard of sexual misconduct throughout the company. Is that something that the government's willing to allow just be there with trying to block this deal? Or is that something Microsoft just goes, we will clean this up, this will not happen. Our watch, you can audit it, you can do whatever, but you have to let this deal go through. Is that another bargaining chip here? I know once you get into lawsuits though, and in court you're going to argue a little bit differently, but did that ever come up behind the scenes here? And was the CMA just not satisfied with that, or UK government, whatever else, US government, all that stuff is coming down this pipe here. But we are getting closer, and so to see what this would do, and to see if the FTC and everybody else is going to approve it, or how that lawsuit is going to go to the FCC, EU approve it, and we'll see what the CMA what it does, because the CMA, as it says here, CMA appeals rarely succeed. So we'll see. Does this one where they get the EU and the US and then they say, fine, we're still going to close this deal, and then the UK is out? That would be really interesting, because if you're a gaming company, why would you go there? The UK really needs to have the US also go this side, or the EU, so they have two, so you have that group of companies or group of countries together to kind of make sure that they aren't pressured out with their gamers and stuff. So in the end, I really would like to see more games, more content here for gamers out there, right? In the end, it's got to be a good deal on that sense. I really don't know how this is really going to end. It is something else. I did not think that the CMA a couple days ago was going to block this at all, And so by doing that, that really opens up different possibilities of what could happen here. I guess we'll know from the EU here in the next month. Once that happens, I'll have another video. I think the EU might be the one that swings it one way or another. If they also deny it, I think Microsoft has a much harder uphill battle. But it is a $3 billion payout to Activision Blizzard if this does not go through. So Microsoft's probably going to fight to keep that. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm really interested which way you think this is going to go. I'm more up in the air now. I thought it was going through on Monday when I saw, hey, the CMA is going to probably approve this. I'm like, well, then that's definitely the case. But if they can get two of these um, country groups, or like United States, EU, UK, or two of the three to kind of be, hey, let's not do this. I think that is a much harder uphill battle. And if it's all three, I think that's when Microsoft might just walk away, because that's unless Microsoft thinks they have a good argument in court. Maybe they do. To me, they're kind of holding that to their chest a little bit, which is a good thing if they couldn't get the deal through with what they already had. So with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for taking the time to help support Graveload and this channel and how growing it. It's been amazing. You guys are amazing at supporting the channel. And do all that normal YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and everything else. I do appreciate it. Until next time, God bless.